There are so many builds in this game that it can be difficult to pick just one to try out. However, if you're playing during the early ladder season, the choice is obvious, and that's the Sorceress. One of the reasons that so many players love using her is because not only can she teleport to get around easier, but she also has the potential for high damage output without needing high-end gear to be able to do so. And in today's video, I'm going to discuss a budget, early ladder version of one of her best magic finding builds in the game.
In today's video, I'm going to go over the build for
the Budget Lightning Sorceress, a build with potentially high damage for an incredibly low cost and ease of use for anyone to pick up and enjoy quickly.
I'm going to go over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear for my character and my mercenary, and afterwards I'm going to show you guys some gameplay so you could see this build in action. But do keep in mind that when it comes to this build, there are different ways you can be able to gear the character depending on your needs, whether you're trying to go for maximum DPS, you're trying to do a magic find character, or a hybrid of the two. Just keep in mind when it comes to looking at the gear choices that I'm going to be choosing, that you can choose alternative gear depending on the demand that you have for your build. Now let's go ahead and get into the video.
For the attributes, she has enough strength to be able to equip the gear, and all the remaining points go into vitality. For the skill trees, starting with the fire spells, there's 1 point into warmth, then moving on to the cold spells, I put 1 point into frozen armor, and lastly for the lightning spells, there's 1 point into telekinesis, teleport to get around easier, and I maxed out lightning as it's our primary source of dealing damage, then I maxed out chain lightning, nova, and lastly I maxed out lightning mastery to add additional lightning damage to the build. Any remaining points I put into static field to help reduce the health of all enemies quickly before attacking. For the gear, something to keep in mind is that there is a lot of room for improvement. However, I wanted to keep it closer to true budget. This way, when watching this build, for those interested in trying it out, if they have any better gear than what I'm showcasing in this video, it'll only get better for their experience from here. Also, when I consider what is budget and what is not, budget is in regards to the gear not being optimized and underutilized, but it still works to give a good example of how the build plays out without a huge investment needing to make it work. And this build is centered around the idea of players already completing hell difficulty, as I originally tried a character level 60 setup, and unfortunately it didn't work well at all at that character level, at least for me. So I made him level 75 for the additional boost to attributes, skill tree points, as well as to open up more gear choices in comparison. I tried to keep this as budgeted as I could within reason of what you could drop during a playthrough, or what would take minimal farming to be able to find. Her helm is lore for the plus to skills, energy, lightning resistance, and mana after each kill that looks low, but can really stack up if taking out large mobs. Her amulet is a magic plus to sorceress skills amulet. Her body armor is stealth, which has faster run walk, faster cast rate, dexterity, and poison resistance. Her weapon and shield are dual spirits. They have plus to skills, faster cast rate, faster hit recovery, vitality, mana, and the shield has all but fire resistance. The boots are Alder's Advance for the life and fire res. The first ring is a cold resistance ring. The belt is a crafted caster belt with faster cast rate, mana, and all but cold resistance. For more information on how to craft a caster belt for yourself, check out my beginner's guide video that goes over all the information that you'll need to know, and it also shows what could potentially roll within 50 attempts. Video link down in the description below. The second ring is an all-res ring. The gloves are mage fists for the faster cast rate. On switch is a lower resistance wand with a rhyme shield for the added resistances and cannot be frozen. In the inventory is just the cube in both tones. I wanted to truly make this a budget build, something that you could reasonably expect to find and or trade for without a huge time investment into farming or needing a lot of wealth to trade for amongst the online community. This way, if you have anything better than this to use for the build, you will only get better results from here, and can add to the overall fun that you'll be having playing this build. For the additional stats, she has 65 faster run walk, 135 faster hit recovery, 124 faster cast rate, and 362% to lightning skill damage. For the Mercenary, he is the Act 2 Prayer Mercenary using a Cure Helm for the Cleansing Aura, Treachery for the Body Armor, and the weapon is Insight for the Meditation Aura. Meditation, Cleansing, and Prayer all synergize one another, and being as that they are all technically the same type of skill within the descriptions, they all synergize to bring back my health and mana quite fast to aid in mine and my Mercenary's survivability.
Now that we've discussed the attributes, the skill trees, the gear for my character and my mercenary, let's go ahead and check out this build in action to see how well it actually plays out.
Because this build is very budgeted and limited in its efficiency throughout different areas of the game, I'm going to show a couple of examples of each area that I had the best results in, but also understand that this build would instantly become significantly better if you can get your hands on the Crack of the Heavens Under charm to break lightning immunities.
With the gameplay, for anyone who'd be curious as to which player settings I'm using for my build guides, the past, presently on screen, and in the future, down in the bottom left corner is what the example gameplay being shown is currently at.
First place that you can farm is Eldridge and Shank. Be wary of teleporting. There are usually ranged characters in the area ready to attack, and with how much of a glass cannon build that she is, it wouldn't take much to take her out. Mephisto is also able to be taken out with this build, though at a much slower pace, but still doable with patience and having enough potions to hopefully keep yourself and the Mercenary alive. Thrush Socket can also be a good option to farm, especially if you have a good waypoint to use that is close to him for quicker runtimes. And Dariel is a bit more risky. However, she is still able to be farmed if you play safer and at more of a distance. But from watching my gameplay, I'm sure you can pick up that I'm more of a melee build player than a caster, but that also comes from having a limited range when it comes to static field. Overall, of the 3 elemental budget sorceress builds, Lightning, in my opinion, is the least desirable one to try to use because of the huge range for damage, as it can be the highest of any of the 3 elemental damages, but it also can be the lowest at only 1 damage, whereas Cold and Fire have a greater median range. And having minor AoE damage from both Fireball and Ice Blast, they overall would be more ideal to use over the budgeted Lightning build. However, I still wanted to show how this build can work for those that are interested, as the endgame version's effectiveness is beyond night and day from this build, but I know that there's still fans of the Lightning Sorceress, and wanted to fairly give the option as I've done with my prior builds. If you are interested in the endgame version of this Lightning Sorceress, make sure to check out the build guide that I made that shows how well she farms all over the game. And if you wanted to switch up to a different budget Sorceress build, those videos will also be linked down in the description below.
And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to see if this build would be something that you would be interested in going into the future. And if anything, at least just enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, then. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.